Hi, welcome back. Let's discuss about Fetch API in JavaScript. Fetch API is a powerful feature in modern JavaScript. The main purpose of it is to make a network request, such as fetching the data from a server, posting the data to the server. Fetch simplifies the process of making HTTP requests. It makes cleaner code and better alternative to the XML HTTP request. So before fetch, you are going to use XML HTTP request as a mechanism to talk to the backend APIs. Fetch is better choice when you are trying to do the JSON data handling. Most of the REST APIs are going to return the JSON data, and if you use the fetch API, it is easy to handle those JSON data. So here is a sample syntax of fetch API. So fetch accept the URL to which you want to make a request. Then fetch follows the promise based syntax. Fetch follows the promise based syntax. That means, so whenever we make a request to the URL mentioned, the response is not going to come immediately. They are called as asynchronous calls. Whenever you make a request to the server takes the request, then it will process the request in the backend. Once the response is ready, then it is going to call the front end API. From the time you made a request to the backend and servers process the request and then respond back to the front end, all these operations are going to happen in asynchronous fashion. What do you mean by asynchronous fashion? You are not going to get the response immediately. If you want to handle the asynchronous response, there are two options available in Fetch API. One is promise style, another one is the async await. We are going to talk about async await in the next video. In the current example, we are going to use promise based syntax. So what is promise based? Once you once you specify the URL to which you want to talk, in then you are going to give a function. Whatever you are going to give is nothing but an arrow function. So this arrow function you are going to give to the server as a callback function. So server, whenever the response is ready, it is going to invoke this function by passing the response that is available with server. So in the promise based syntax, step 1, specify the URL which you want to call. Step 2, give the arrow function or any normal function which you want to handle as a response as the callback function. So this is the second step. In the callback function, what exactly we are doing? We are taking the response from the server and we are converting it to the JSON. So this response object is going to contain whether what is the response, whether it is 200, whether it is okay, whether it is successful, is there is any error, all of them we are going to contain in the response object. So once you convert to the JSON, it is going to convert our response to the whatever the data we need. For example, if you have requested for the customers, once you say response.json, it will be contains the customer data. In case if you have requested for the orders, then when you use this response.json, it is going to contains the orders data. After that, we have one more then, and we are passing the one more function as a parameter over there. So what exactly it's going to do? This is a chained function to first callback. So the second then is nothing but a chain function to the first callback. So what happens? Whatever the response.json, like it will be written as a part as a callback function. So whatever the response.json you invoke, that data is going to given as an input to the second callback function. So in case if it is a orders, it is going to contain the orders data. If it is a customers, it is going to handle the customers data. So this callback is the one where you are going to do something with the data. So in this case, we are just going and displaying the data in the log, but in the realistic case, you are going to display in a component. For example, if it is orders, we are going to display in the orders component. If it is a customers, you are going to display in the customers component. So the fetch API has, apart from then, it is going to have one catch. Whenever there is a error in communicating from front end to the back end. If there is any error, this callback is going to get invoked. So whatever the function you have attached to the catch, that callback function is going to get invoked whenever there is a communication failure between the front end and back end. And this error is going to contain what exactly the error in the communication. Let me introduce about the REST API we are going to use in our example. So there is publicly available fake API called as JSON placeholder.typecode.post. So which is going to give some sample posts as a response, which we can use it in our front end API. Like for example, if you want to call a fetch API, if you want to have a realistic backend API to simulate the request, we are going to use this JSON placeholder fake API. Let me show the JSON placeholder REST API. If you want a specific post, you can call this JSON placeholder.post.1. But if you want all the posts, what you should be able to do, you can call this, which is going to give you the all post. If you want a specific post, you are going to use these things. So this is the REST API which we are going to use to demonstrate our fetch call. So here is a sample HTML page where I have a one div with ID container and have an empty script tag. So what are we going to do? In the script tab, using the fetch API, we get the post with ID 1 and display it on page on data hyphen container div. So this is what we are going to do. Let's start with fetch API. So we are going to create a function called, first we are going to define a function called as fetch data, and within this fetch data we are going to call the fetch API. So what exactly we are going to do? Fetch, what we are giving the URL which we are trying to get with post with 1. Then we have given using a promise first, then we are given the first callback to convert the response whatever we got to the JSON. Then in the next callback with the data, we are logging them into the console. At the same time, we are using document.getElement by ID. We are trying to get the data container div, and whatever the response we got from this REST API, we are displaying that as a inner HTML. We need to invoke this fetch data function. So what we can do here is we can call this fetch data directly, or we can use window dot onload. Okay, so what we can say here was, whenever this window is getting loaded, I want to call this fetch data. So on load of this window, it is going to call this fetch data. Okay, let's go and try to run this example. I have the 5 server installed in the Visual Studio extension to run in the web server. If you have not installed, please look for the 5 server extension in the Visual Studio Code extensions, and once you open, after you have installed, when you open that HTML and right click, you will be able to see open with 5 server as an option. So now I'm trying to open this in the 5 server. If you observe, our server is running on this location. I'm going to open this look URL in the browser. If you observe in the data container div, we are able to display the body of the post that we have received as a response from the server. Let's debug this code. So once we click on inspect, we'll go to the source folder and we are going to click on our HTML file, and we can keep a breakpoint in our code base and try to reload the page. As part of reloading our page, we got our fetch API call. Now you can use this network tab to see all the request and response that are going between the browser and server. If you see at this moment there were only one HTML request has gone. Now once we go and call this fetch API, let's go and try to click on this, and at this moment if you go and Azure the network tab, so we made a request to the post. So we made a request to the post with one, and we are saying request method is get, and from where we are making a request. And if you see the preview and response, there is no response available. The reason we still kept a breakpoint and even our response has not received from the server. So once we have got the response received from the server, okay, so now let's see whether we got our response from the server. Yeah, we have not got the response yet. Yeah, if you see that we have got our response and we converted that to the JSON. Now if you go and observe the network tab for the one, you see we got the response from the server. So what is the response? We got the complete post with ID saying what is the user ID, what is the ID, what is the title, and what is the body. So this is the response which we have received from the server, and we can see even in the response object also, like it is there is a JSON format. Now as we said, like once we got the response, we have converted that as a JSON. Then immediately after we have a chained then function. So soon after the response is converted to JSON, we are getting the data. And even if you ask for the data here, this is the one which is going to contain the actual post with one, like with the post with ID one. That's what we have requested from the server. And what we have done, we are putting that into the, and at the same time we are actually getting the element div data container div element, and to the inner HTML we are getting whatever the data dot body we got it, we are going and updating as an inner HTML to that content. If you go to our main page, we are able to see over the body of the post that has been received as a response updated to the data container div. That is on Fetch API in JavaScript. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.